Hi, hello, welcome back. So in this series of videos I'm going to show you the configurations for SRM implementation. So in today's first video we'll show you about the basic settings for starting SRM implementation of either classic or extended classic scenarios. Let's begin. So open SPRO for customizations. So let's open the transaction SPRO, and there you will find a reference IMG, SAP IMG. After installing the SRM component, so you will be able to see these nodes like SAP supplier relationship management, and the first node would be SAP web application server. So under that you can see general settings. So here the basic things we need to check is country specific checks, countries, country codes, etc. So first let's go with the countries. So by default SAP will give you all the list of countries. So if in case if you feel any of the countries missed out, so we can add that by clicking on new entries as you see, but all the mandatory fields are filled. So next is checking enabling the country specific check. So if you wanted to put country specific checks, for example on postal code or on the telephone number digits, bank key, etc., so those checks can be put under these nodes. So let me go to India, so if we go here, so these are all the set of checks available. So I clicked on display mode, it went back. So I'll again open India specific checks. So it will be easy to relate. Okay, so I'm just opening India. So here let me take the first one, like a postal code. We have fixed the length as 6 and the rule I have given as 4. So we will check what the SAP is already given a set of rules. So I have given 4. So what is a 4 rule? Is it length to be kept exactly numeric without gaps. So if I am given the length as 6, so it should be equal to 6, not less than 6 or greater than 6. It should be numeric and without gaps. That is the rule defined. So similarly we have many other rules, like 5 is maximum value length. So I am giving the bank number as 15, so we can give maximum 15, but it can be less than 15 also. So next is insert regions. So nowadays there are so many partitions happening. So let's take an example of India. So we have now created many new states like Telangana, and many other states has been partitioned. So in this case Telangana has not been listed yet, so that can be included manually by creating the new entries. This is the use of that insert regions. And next is defining country code. That is nothing but you have to define the dialer code for the country codes and the dialer code for sending the fax, etc. So here also let me take our example India. So if you see India and the dial 2, whenever you want to dial 2 matlab India, so it is to where destination country code. So I am given as 9191. For fax, telefax, it is 81 series. And next is like exceptions. So if you wanted to give some exceptions for calling countries from US to France or India to Sri Lanka, so something like that. So if you want to give an exceptions, so we can we can maintain the exception rules here. So if let me take an example of USA. It is from country is US and to country is Antigua or Barbuda. So the tele number is 1809. So we can maintain the exemption for this. Similarly, like US to Canada, so the tele number is 1, exception number is 1. And so you can read the documentation how to do the exemption for that telephones. Yeah. And this is the communication country dialing. So I have just showed you that document. So now if we see, it is maintained as 0W011. So in exception it is maintained as 1. Instead of dialing 011, we can even you can dial with 1. So that can be maintained under this exceptions. So next set is the currencies. For each country, what is the currency maintained? So here let me take India where it is. And so similarly, if any of the currencies has been missed out, so we can add a new currency against your country code. And ISO code, against your ISO code. So INR is maintained. So if something is missed out, we can easily maintain. And this is like maintaining the decimal places. So by default, SAP has already defined the decimals. So if you want to still overwrite, SAP gives a warning on top of that. If you want to overwrite, you can still go and overwrite. As recommended, it is not recommended to overwrite the existing decimal places. So next one is like dimensions and unit of measure. And so by default, all the unit of measures and dimensions, the ISO codes will be pulled from ECC. In case an additional ISO code or unit of measure if you want to create, you can just create by adding a new entry. And then next is like holiday calendar and public holidays. So public holiday by default it is delivered from SAP based on the country key, and then similarly like a holiday calendar also will be delivered for that current year. So for subsequent years, customer has to maintain every year. And then the factory calendar, how many days the factory is going to function. For example, Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday. In Europe countries it is different, and Arabian countries is different. So that has to be maintained in the factory calendar. So that is a very important customization in the basic settings. So next is time zone. So time zone is also very important, because based on your current if you are in case of tendering, so time zone plays a very vital role. If there is a time difference, then it will create an issue. So go to maintain settings and then select the proper time zone and save it. And against the time zone, see if you take India, so it will show you that UTC. In case of US, we'll have daylight, etc. So all those things can be maintained in this customizations. Maintain time zone customization. And that is also very important in case of US and other countries, but in India it doesn't make much difference. So and the next one is if you wanted to maintain any new zone against the country code, that also can be maintained in this time zone in country by just creating the new entry and then provide the difference, maybe plus 3 or 3.2 etc. It is up to the time zone creations. So these are all the general settings before starting the implementation. And then next would be business partner settings. No, this is not this is application server. And then let me check. Yeah, under cross application components, business partner and consolidation. No, this is not the one. No, there is where it is. Yeah. So under cross application components, we have to maintain partner customization. This is important for BP and CP relationships. So under SAP business partner, we have a node called business partner. So under business partner, we have basic settings. then drop down to roles is not required, it's not required for us. These all by standard define BP roles. These are all the standard naming comes like BBP 000 for vendor, 1 for bidder, etc. These are the partner keys which comes in header information for effects and shopping cart, purchase order. So this also can be grouped, and it again depends on the customer requirement. Next is the number range for groupings. So when you create the grouping, you have to maintain the number ranges for the created groups. So by default we have one, by standard we have one maintained already with the phase 0 to 999 series as a groupings. Here we have two main classification, internal and external by standard. So there are two partner types, 1 and 2, one for BP and 2 for CP. So that is by standard, so no need to do any customization under these things. So just I wanted to show you what is being available under the business partner. So if you come down to persons, so we can maintain the academic details. So for by default it comes like doctor and etc. So we can also maintain custom requirements if any, and similarly with the fix and prefix. And we can also maintain the format and how the customer details will flow. So by default we have 5. So and on top of that, if we want to have additional formatting, we can create as a 6 and map it to the business partner. Sorry. And the next is marital status. So SAP gives by default 5 I showed, and we can also create the custom 6 and 7 etc. So this industry specific settings doesn't have any impact on our SRM implementation. So just wanted to show you this node details. Apart from that, nothing much under this. Under business partner relationship, we have to maintain the number range for the BPCP. So for BP and CP we have a relationship number, so on number range for that also to be maintained. And the relationship category, for each category we have one category ID 001, 2 etc. So if we want a custom relationship, that also can be maintained. So by default we have this standard. And assigning layout categories to no, this will not have any impact to us. No other things is not relevant for this current implementation of SRM. And next we can check if there is any departments. So departments we have fixed, and the additional departments and functions also can be created based on the requirement from the customers. And then we can check if any body is available with respect to business partner relationship. We have one body, so we can utilize in case of any customer requirement comes in. So there are two categories for SRM under category and chargeback. So we are going to use SO, that is fixed one for SRM business, SRM hierarchy for vendors. So that's it for basic settings. So in the next series of videos, I will show you with other settings. Next we will talk about technical settings, and in the series of videos we will go one by one. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.